So we'll leave everyone with a few stats here. You can give your response here, Logan. I'm taking these straight from Athlon's. So Florida State, for one thing, their field position to start offensive drives was one of the worst in the country at number 125. So they need to do better in the return game there. Number 125 in starting field position. And in those drives that they had to start all the way back at the average of 25, they scored less than 2 points per drive. So that was one of the worst figures in the nation. So obviously that is a combination of getting a better return game and then also extending drives, because if they had to drive the entire field, they usually didn't get it done.
Yeah, well, they got it. They've a lot of this too, I think, is going to have to go on the offensive line and mainly in the running game here. I think Florida State has probably behind the defensive line on that side of the ball, probably the running back room is going to be your most talented. And if they can keep healthy up front, which they're hoping to do, they bringing in overall, 15 guys in the trenches, but a lot of those guys on the offensive line, if they can keep consistency there and keep healthy and keep that same rotation, really, you don't want to rotate anybody, but if you can keep a good depth there, Florida State should do pretty well in that run game and should help continue drives. That's something that Mike Norvell did very well at Memphis with his running backs. You got to hope that this continues. And Florida State has done a little bit with Deshaun Corbin. Now you got Treshaun Ward being your expected starter, and you've got Trey Benson. You got Lawrence Toafili as your three-headed monster. Got a few guys behind him, too, with C.J. Campbell. And then you've also got Rodney Hill as a true freshman. If things can move up front and blocks can be made, this running back room should be able to shuffle in and out and be able to gain some yards down the field to sustain these drives. You don't want to have to fully rely on Jordan Travis throwing the ball as much. This is all going to have to start with what's going on. There's a lot of good grades here and there on some national outlets on looking at a few guys on the offensive line, but I still think there are some issues from last year for sure that need to be fixed, and we'll see if Coach Atkins is highly, respected and probably your top assistant behind Mike Norvell and what he's able to do, not only now in recruiting, but, it seems like developing and getting guys better up front. You feel good that he's the coach there, but I still think he's got a lot of work to do this upcoming fall camp after what I watched in the spring.